On the program today, we focus on the Buhari government's anti-corruption war as the PDP cries foul. Party governors claim APC government plans to cast the party in a bad light, insist the fight must be within the ambit of the law. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. I'm Sheung Okinbaloye. Before he won the 2015 presidential election, President Muhammadu Buhari has hinted on how he wants to deal with the main challenges confronting the nation and made it clear that fighting corruption will be the thrust of his government's activities. In an interview with the CNN after winning the election, he said it will be not even his close ally will be left out in his fight against corruption. Talking about members of his political parties he found guilty. Well, he says now that the net has since been cast, but how wide? The People's Democratic Party is not happy. Some of its members have been fingered in some of the allegations of corruption being pursued by the anti-graft agencies. The party was more furious when its spokesperson, Chief Olisametu, was arrested by the EFCC for several days, and when he was brought into the court, he was escorted with handcuffs in both hands. We look at the Buhari's anti-corruption war and how far. Well, let me quickly take you through some of the illustrations that we have for you on the program so you can get a clear perception of what we are talking about, the issues, before I introduce my guest to you. Well, you remember when the president said this very popular statement that unless Nigeria kills corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria. Very popular for that statement. Unless Nigeria kills corruption, corruption will kill Nigeria. And from that moment, everybody got to understand that President Muhammadu Buhari is wanting to fight corruption, and he even said it at some point that he will want to be noted and known for fighting corruption to his knees as a president of Nigeria. That's a major focus for him, for his government. But let's take a look deeper into this anti-corruption war. Well, the task of retrieving some of the stolen funds, what will it entail? Well, most of the political corruption or stolen funds are flown out of the country. Some of them are not domiciled in Nigeria. A lot of them are out of Nigeria. And some of the amounts that we're talking about, the stolen funds, are between $150 to $200 billion over a period of 10 years. These are some of the facts coming out as soon as President Muhammadu Buhari came into government. And also, we have some other facts saying that 20 to 25% of the nation's yearly revenue are stolen or unaccounted for. These are some of the basic facts coming up into this very issue. What about these monies? How are they lost? Basically, three ways being highlighted: waste of resources, stolen, or leakages in the system. And of course, at the end of the day, some experts have come forward to say most of the stolen funds are outside the country. Some experts are saying of the opinion that some of the funds cannot even be gotten. Somewhere lost when they've been deposited outside the country, and other people are of the opinion that most of those who stole the funds cannot even get to the funds. So you remember that the popular Abacha loots and all of those, what happened in times of where some of these funds are domiciled. But the recent altercations, the back and forth on the fight against corruption in Nigeria, the PDP has not really been happy about it. So the PDP has come forward to say, look, President Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption fight seems not to be fair enough as they would like it to be. But they've said altogether, they came out to say they have appealed to President Buhari to intervene in the way things have gone. It says so far, statistics have shown that the EFCC has only arrested members of the PDP, those who have served in government before, but they are APC governors, members of the APC who have served in various governments, and they have been left alone. But recently, the party came to say this about the spokesperson of the PDP who was arrested on allegations of fraud. Well, and this is what the party says about Chief Olusegun. They says that the People's Democratic Party condemns in totality the brazen display of authoritarianism demonstrated by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led APC government in handcuffing his National Publicity Secretary, Chief Olusegun, even when the court is yet to hear his case. That is the position of the PDP. But take a moment now to listen to the spokesperson of the Buhari government, the Minister for Information, Culture and Tourism, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who says that 15 past governors have been involved in looting about 1.2 trillion naira, and he listed a few other issues. Let's take a listen to him now.
In the period of 2006 and 2013, just 55 people allegedly stole a total of 1.34 trillion naira in Nigeria. That's more than 1/4 of last year's national budget. Out of the stolen funds, 15 former governors allegedly stole 146.84 billion naira. 4 former ministers allegedly stole 7 billion naira. 12 former public servants, both at federal and state levels, allegedly stole over 40 billion naira. We would have had better electricity. Maternal and infant mortality would have gone down. Now you see, when people say they are victims of our fighting corruption, the government cannot close its eyes and allow this to go on.
That's the spokesperson of the Buhari government, Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information, Tourism and Culture, there talking about some of the funds that have been stolen, according to him, the allegations. Of course, let's take a look at what other people are talking about. Some people have said this is just a distraction for the Buhari government. If he wants to fight corruption, fine. But looking back and back every time will just delay some of the changes that President Muhammadu Buhari has promised Nigerians. Of course, a clergy in Nigeria, a pastor of one of Nigeria's Pentecostal church in Nigeria, Matthew Ashimolo, has said, he said that the President Buhari must use the parental's principle to approach governance. He said, if you have your eyes permanently on the rear view mirror, you cannot drive fast. The past deserves just 20% attention. Otherwise, it will take forever for majority of Nigerians to see changes. Well, that's a theory there, parental's theory of leadership in Nigeria. Let me bring in my guest here now on the program. As a former senator and a former minister of works in Nigeria, a PDP chieftain, Senator Adeshaye Ogunleye joins us on the program. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
It's my pleasure.
Also, in our Abuja studio, he's a right activist and the co-convener of the Say No campaign Nigeria, Mr. Ezenwa Nwagu, joins us from our Abuja studio. Thank you so much for being part of the program. Let's start the conversation here from our studio here. Your party seems not to be happy with a lot of things. The Governors Forum, the PDP Governors Forum has said they're not against anti-corruption war, but what they are not happy about is the way and manner a lot of things have been handling in this anti-corruption war. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, thank you. Corruption is corruption, and you cannot excuse any corrupt person and put it on the shoulder of Mr. President. If you are corrupt, you wait for the D-Day, and then if you are caught, you are punished. If you don't want to be paraded like that, you are not going to be corrupt. You are not a kid. You must be responsible for your action. If you manipulate figures, if you stole government money, you must remember that one day they may come after you. So I have no apology in whatever form for anybody that has stolen government money to be punished in whatever way.
Are you saying you are not on the same side with your party on this?
No, this is not a party matter. If you stole money, you have stolen money. And you must be ready to be punished. That's all.
The party is saying, the PDP is saying that the way, for example, that Chief Olisametu was handcuffed going into the courtroom is something that they're not happy about. That this man is still under, his trial is even yet to begin. And so why would he be handcuffed? Do you share the same sentiment?
It's a deterrent to whoever wants to steal money. That when we are caught, the way you are treated, it depends on the security agents or the anti-corruption agents. You cannot determine and dictate to them that after you have stolen money, this is the way I must be treated.
But it's still an allegation. It's not even proven yet. The case is not started.
So if you watch him, then you know that if you are corrupt, you can be handcuffed one day.
All right, those are the pictures there, Senator Ogunlewe. If you look at it, that's a spokesperson of your party who was coming into court, and the party is saying that, look, we are not against him being tried for corruption allegations or corrupt charges, but what we are not happy about is the way and manner the security agencies have handled this matter. Should he be cuffed in the first place?
I'm not part of the security agents. It depends on what they saw. They are the one responsible. That is their job. Their job is to protect, in whatever form, anybody they are bringing to court. And you cannot dictate to them how they are going to do their job. Everybody has responsibility. The prison warders has responsibility. And if they are not allowed to do what they are doing, you can sue them. But I can assure you, he's not the first person that has been treated this way.
Because a lot of people are saying that Colonel Dasuki is also charged for allegations of fraud and corruption, and yet he's not being cuffed in same manner. Look at it. That's another person who has been alleged, have allegations of fraud on him, yet the person walks without handcuffs. That's what the party is talking about.
The governor of Kogi State, Audu, was handcuffed. Tafa, who was the Inspector General of Police, was handcuffed. If you don't want to be handcuffed, don't steal. That's my own position.
But we're saying that these people are still innocent until they've been proven guilty in the court of law.
They saw 400 million naira in his account. That is not a small money.
So you couldn't have worked for that money?
My dear, if you don't want to be treated this way, please don't steal. You cannot give an excuse that, look, if I stole money, I must be treated this way or this way. You determine how you are going to be treated. When you want not to be treated like that, don't steal the money. That's all.
For example, I'm sorry, let me just put this to you. If you are being invited in the FCC today and you are being handcuffed, even without trial, would you be happy?
I have served all my life in the public office from 1964 till now. Anytime I was doing something, I would remember the oath of office that I've taken. And that if I misbehave, I know the consequences. So it is for you to know what to do. It is not for the security agent for you to tell them how to treat you after you have been, found wanting in one way or the other.
All
so
right.
It's a deterrent to others. Please don't steal money and then now look for excuses.
What if these people are proven innocent at the end of the day?
Well, that's all. That's what you go through. It says it is part of the risk of life. As far as I'm concerned, even if you condemn them, they will say they are doing their work. What can you do?
Let's bring in Mr. Aizenwanwagu, the co-convener of Say No Campaign Nigeria, into this matter now. You are a civil rights activist, and of course, you've been monitoring this particular situation. When the president said he wants to be known and seen as a president who fought corruption to his news. But the approach of President Muhammadu Buhari, for example, do you think these are within the ambit of the law?
Well, I think, Seun, that introducing me in this particular case as civil rights activist is meant